All right, guys, welcome back. I am so excited. I can't express on how excited I am, especially from the response that I got from you guys about making this like a podcast and stuff. I still don't have a name for it, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But for right now, we'll just, have it like a chat space, like a sitting down space and stuff. I did get an email and it was anonymous. By some girl that wanted me to talk about a subject that I do talk about it in like my life. Ahí sí me ven si me estoy acomodando. I'm sorry. I can feel Xiomara kicking me more now. Pero and I do have my water, so voy a estar agarrando mi agua, pero ustedes like agarren sus chips, agarren sus aguas, si necesitan ponerle una pausa al video, put a pause, because this subject that I'm going to talk about is kind of like, people have their differences. People have there's stuff to say about it. And this is just my opinion, I'm not going to be sitting here like arguing about other people's opinions, but this is just like my opinion. She wanted me to talk about, I know who it is, the one that sent me the email, but she wanted me to keep it anonymous. She kind of asked me about what I think about of like abusive relationships or like toxicness of relationships. And of course, everybody's going to have their different, talk about what a relationship should look like. Pero pues es que cada quien, cada quien puede vivir una relación sana y buena, una relación tóxica, una relación donde se pegan esto y el otro. O sea, cada quien puede vivir la vida como quiera, but this is just like experiences that happened to me and like stuff that has happened to me and what like it kind of brought me to where I am now. So even before like I met Junior or anything, I did have two really bad abusive relationships in my life that made me open up my eyes. So when I met Junior, I did tell him like, hey, like if you're a toxic person, like it's okay to be toxic to an extent. If okay, so I don't know, because people can take it the wrong way and people can take it the right way. But for me, like being a little bit toxic is like playing around, like, pues dame tu teléfono, like let me check what you're doing, this and that. But like, I'm that type of person where like, I'll be like pretending to be toxic in front of Junior, like, why are you looking at that girl or why this or why that, but I never get to the point where I'm like, give me your phone, cause like, es que para mí, like, él tiene su teléfono, yo tengo el mío, like we both have our privacies, but we both have the trust. Trust is key to a relationship. I always tell that to everybody. Trust is key to a relationship. Yeah, sometimes I get in his phone, like, but I don't check it because why? Because I trust him. Like, I'm not over here like checking his messages or this and that just because there should always be trust in a relationship. Y eso abre una puerta que no quiero abrir otra vez en mi vida. Como les digo, I lived two really bad toxic relationships. Y sí me gustaba la mala vida back then. And what? There's some girls that stay there for years and they like it, but after my second time of like going through that abusive relationship that I went through, I was like, okay, this is done. But I really want to talk about the first one. And I should have opened my eyes. Yes, I know. I'm a pendeja. We all go through our little pendeja moments. It's okay. Like, I know I ain't the only one, but, you know what? I'm gonna talk about it because it kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. It just, it was so dumb. Like, I don't know. In my eyes, it shouldn't have happened the way it did, because it shouldn't. So I'm going to take you guys back when I was about, how old was I? I was about 17, just finished getting out of school. I'm freshly graduated. And I remember I had like my first full-time job, and my first full-time job was a cricket store. I was just looking for a job, just to, get some money flowing, before I went into college and did all that. And, I remember this was from my ex stepdad's side of the family. Okay. Like I didn't have anything to do with them because como le digo, my stepdad, pues era my stepdad, nothing to do with blood or anything. And his mom, my ex stepdad's mom my ex grandma told me que había llegado un nuevo muchacho de México. And you guys get that. You guys got that, right? De Mexico. Okay. So era mojado. Okay. I'm not going to say any names. I'm going to call him Caca. Every relationship that went bad, and I don't like to say the guys' names. I always call him Caca. So we're just going to call him Caca, and pues yeah, así se le va a quedar el nombre. Caca. Okay. Ay, wait. Sorry, guys. I just ate chips, so Xiomara's like, Mom, I need a burp. Anyways, okay. So yeah, she told me, anda buscando novia. I kind of want to like, and remind you guys, this was when I was 17 or 18. I'm 27 now. Okay, guys. So I was like, oh, okay, like, está bien, I'll meet him and everything. And she set up like this little date at her house for us to meet each other. Y ya, pues we met each other, we talked, and then we hit it off like every relationship, everything was going good. And then out of nowhere, he just started to be so abusive, like not abusive, but like very toxic. He would tell me who to talk to, who not to talk to. But then he started to like talk to other girls, and like, I know you guys are going to be like, "Qué pendeja." I know I'm a pendeja. But anyways, like it was like, he would talk to other girls, and like, I would just like brush it off, like I wasn't really like, oh, okay, mind you guys, it was like my first boyfriend, official boyfriend que, I was in a really serious relationship. So I was like, I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but I knew the first time he put his hands on me, I should have left. So the first time he put his hands on me, he was drunk. Okay. He was really, really drunk. And that day, one of his cousins invited us to go to el baile. So I was like, okay, like we'll go. And we were driving to the baile, and the whole time we were driving to the baile, he was pinching me like right here on my side. And I remember like I would tell him like, stop, like, that hurts. And then he would be like, you better not be talking to any guys at the baile, this and that. Mind you guys, I was like 200 pounds. Yo estaba gordita, like I wasn't even pretty. Yo no me alistaba porque él no me dejaba. He wouldn't let me put on makeup. He wouldn't let me dressing like a viejita. Okay. This is how toxic this guy was. Like I couldn't do anything in front of his eyes. So I was like, who am I going to talk to if you're like on my ass 24/7, So we got to the baile, and the whole time we were going inside and everything, he was holding my hand like so tight, guys. It hurt so bad that I was like, oh my God, like, how am I going to get through this night? And I remember that night I texted my mom. Okay. I remember this so clearly because I felt like estaba entre la vida y la muerte just because of how he was grabbing my hand. So I texted mom, I was like, hey mom, if anything, just stay pendiente del teléfono, but just know that I love you. And she was like, ¿Qué pasó, mija? I was just like, no, I just feel like something bad is going to happen. And I really don't feel comfortable where I am. And she's like, well, let me go pick you up. Y le dije, no, ma. O sea, it's okay, ama. I just feel like something's going to happen, mom. So just like, just stay pendiente del teléfono. So his primos, he had a girl with them también at the time. El primo. I told her, I was like, hey, let's go use the bathroom because, you're drinking, like, estás tomando agua, like, en un baile. And that's all I would drink was agua because he wouldn't even let me drink, y'all. Okay. I mean, I know you can't drink in the baile, but, because I'm 18, 17 at the time, but I was like, oh, pues vamos al baño. Every girl goes to the bathroom when they're at the baile. So I was like, vamos al baño. Y la muchacha se tardó de más en el baño. And like, when she was in the restroom y se estaba tardando, like I kept getting messages from him, like message after message after message, like ¿dónde estás? De seguro estás con alguien más. You're probably making out with this guy, blah, 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 this and that. I was just like, no, she's in the bathroom. She's taking forever. I even sent him a picture, like where I was, like there's no guys in the fucking bathroom. Like, ¿Dónde está el muchacho? So then we went back. And I remember, we started dancing una canción. The whole time we were dancing in my ear, he was just like, I'm going to kill you, te voy a matar. Like, tú no sabes con quién te metiste. Ya sé que andabas con otro en el baño. And it got to the point where I started crying in la pista del baile. And he would grab me so hard and like grab the back of my hair right here and be like, ¿por qué chingados estás llorando? No estés llorando, te ves una ridícula, aguántate, esto es lo que tú querías. So at some point, like, I kind of like, le agarré, you know how like when you're dancing, le agarré acá atrás and it kind of like me soltó, like to the point donde me soltó and I started walking to the exit. That was my like, I can't do this anymore. I started walking to the door to the exit and he comes, guys, he comes running towards me, me agarra la mano and he like switches it back. Remind y'all, there was security looking, okay? Security. And he just me saca para afuera, así con la mano así, like so hard, guys. And we went outside y me puso contra una pared and he just started choking me, hitting me. And there was people looking and the security guards were looking and nobody did anything. So then at some point, I don't remember because I'm telling you this was a long time ago. At some point, I was able to get him off and I started running towards the car that we came in. And when we were in, el primo dejó la puerta abierta. So I was able to get in there and just chill. And he came running right behind me, guys. I didn't even acknowledge that he was running right behind me porque yo ya estaba corriendo and I got into the car and like 2 seconds later he was coming towards the other side because I was like on this side, so él vino para acá. And the whole time I was in the car, he was just hitting me the whole time. Hitting me, hitting me, hitting me, hitting me. And he tried to take away my phone, but I had it under my He tried to take away, I think I had my house or my car keys or something. If I remember right, I had a set of keys with me too. And I put them under here. And, at some point I was able to like have him stop hitting me, if that makes sense. And I was able to run away. I ran to the closest gas station that there was just because it was a public gas station and there was people. And hasta like la señora que estaba trabajando allí, she's like, oh my God, are you okay? I was like, you need to hide me. I was like, you need to hide me, please. Like, I'm in danger. She's like, do I need to call the cops? I was like, no, 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 no. I was like, just hide me. So me escondió atrás del cash register, but he never like came in, you know, he was just like, he never came to the gas station ni nada. And I called one of my friends to come pick me up. She picked me up and the whole time I was driving back to go pick up my vehicle. Yes, it was my vehicle keys. Okay. So yeah, to go pick up my vehicle, I was just crying to her, venting to her what happened. And she told me too, she's like, no regreses, no seas tonta, esto y el otro. Like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And like that whole time I was like set que no iba a regresar. I was set that I was going to leave him. I was set that, you know, I don't need him in my life, esto y el otro. And y'all already know the rest of the story. There goes my dumbass again. Ya sé, estoy pendeja. Okay, so ya pasaron unas semanas. He was still like a little bit abusive throughout like the whole weeks that we were together. He would pinch me here and there. Tenía moretones here and there. But I would always tell my mom que me caí en el trabajo or something like that. Let me take a little water break, guys, before I get into my other story. Take a break. ASMR moment. Okay, let me go put this back because it makes a lot of noise. So then, ya pasaron unas semanas, this and that. And then I remember this so well. So that night we went to his aunt's house. Like we were just hanging out, me and him. And then we decided to go to his aunt's house because his aunt was making food. And then, he was having a couple beers and I told him like, no tomes tanto because you already know how things go. Like, let's not make it like a round number 2 again. He would tell me like, nah, don't worry about it. Esto y lo otro. So I was like, whatever. So yeah, we were leaving like the aunt's house, you know, and we were in the car. I was driving because he didn't have his driver's license. So I would always be the one driving. I know, pendeja. Anyways, I would be the one driving all the time. And, I remember that night, it was just so specific. That night he was going through my phone. And I didn't have anything to hide. You know, I never have anything to hide when I'm in a relationship. So I was like, you know what? Here you go. Here's my phone. He went back to the messages back in 2013. 2013, guys. Back when I was in high school, back this and that. And he started going off on me saying you're cheating on me, you're doing this, you're doing that, blah, 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 this and that. I was like, I'm not cheating on you. Like, look at the dates. Like, I was like pointing it at him. I even took a screenshot. I was like, dude, you're looking at the dates. Like, don't you see it's back into what year are we in right now? You know what I mean? Like, we were talking back when I was in high school. Like, these messages don't mean nothing to me anymore. You know, I was just telling him. So I think it got to the point in my head where I was like, you know what? Like, I'm just going to drop you off. Kaka, okay, I'm going to drop you off. I'm going to go home and then tomorrow we can talk about this. Like, I'm not up for it right now. I don't want it to be a round two again. And we got to his house. All right, guys, we got to his house and he got off the car. Y yo ya me iba a ir. Like, I was ready to like leave. I was ready to bounce. And as soon as I was putting the car on drive, he like stormed around, opened my door, put the car on park, all right, grabbed the keys from the car, turned off the engine, grabbed my hair from here, and dragged me oh my God, my hair, all the way inside the house, smacking me in the head, just like, bass, just like hitting me, going crazy. We go into the house and the first thing I'm trying to look for is my keys just to get the hell out of there. Cause my phone was already in my pocket. I remember I had it in my pocket because I had a feeling again that something was going to happen. So I remember right after he was done blabbering at me about the messages, I just grabbed my phone and I put it in my pocket. But I knew I had my phone in my pocket, but I couldn't find my keys. So the whole time he was smacking me, hitting me, doing this and that, I was looking for my keys to get the hell out of there, you know? And at some point where he like let me go, I think he was just done hitting me. I like finally found my keys. And okay, guys, listen to this part very well. Pongan mucha atención. Okay, guys. So as soon as I was walking out of the room with the keys, okay, guys, mind you, I had blood everywhere. I had everything everywhere. As soon as I was walking out, I hear like a choking noise. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, what is that? So I looked back and this dude literally had a belt around his neck, like crossed it like that. And he was trying to take away his life because I was leaving. I ran in there. I took the belt off of him and he like, casi like he was about to be done. Okay, guys. I took the belt off of him and he started to spit up blood into a pillow. And I grabbed him and I just made sure like I was patting his back to make sure all that was coming out. I think from the tightness of the belt, it was so tight that I think it made him like throw up blood. So in those days, his sister was living with him. And mind you, they were not home when she was hitting me and doing all of that. But, she was coming in and she was like, oh my God, what happened to Kaka? What happened to Kaka? I was like, he was trying to take away his life. And I'm here like ando como pendeja y ayudándole. You know what I mean? And then after he was done spitting up, after he was done like echando todo, he looked at me and he was like, get the fuck out of my house. And I was like, what? He was like, grab your stuff and get out. I was like, but I'm trying to help you. Like, do we need to call 911? Like, you're spitting up blood. Get your stuff and get out. And in that moment, I let go of it and I grabbed, I had my keys already with me. So I left out I grabbed whatever I had to grab. I didn't have anything, other than my phone and my keys. And I was like, okay. And his sister was telling me the same thing too. She's like, salte mejor. She's like, vete mejor. I was like, what the hell? Like you were just bleeding in your pillow trying to take away your life. Nobody's calling 911, to come and help you. I'm all full of blood all over my face already from mine. And she saw that too, she saw that I was all full of blood and everything. I was like, what the hell? So I grabbed all my stuff and I was walking towards my car and I started to feel like dizzy, like walking towards my car. So I sat in my car out of the house, out of the parkway already. I sat in the car for a little bit And I decided to call 911 because I felt like I was having a concussion, like a concussion moment. And like everything was just like me estaba pegando. So I called 911 to come get me. And I told them what happened. I was like, see, you know, my man was like hitting me and this and that. And, you know, they went to go talk to him, do their part while they were checking me. You know, they were cleaning up my blood and everything. And they took me in an ambulance. My car, lo dejé allí. And sorry guys, I'm trying to remember that moment because it was so long ago, but I do remember cuando pasó eso, you know, always when you go back to trauma, you always remember like the traumatic part. A veces la gente se acuerda, a veces otra gente no, but I really have a vivid memory of that. Pero yeah, so my car was left there. They took me in the ambulance to the hospital to check like a concussion, this and that. And remind you guys, I was 17 and 18. So this is like the first time in my life that I ever went through an experience like this. I never had a boyfriend. He was like my first, como dije, porque yo estaba gordita. Like I was ugly. I was the one that they would bully at school. I was the one that I was like, you know, los que no querían nada que ver, you know? So, you know, they took me to the hospital. They checked me. You know, I did come out, tenía un concussion. You know, me checaron todo, mi blood y todo. Tenía moretones. And then, you know, my mom ya le hablaron, you know, del hospital y dijeron que yo estaba allí. You know, all my family came to the hospital and I see the cops standing outside my door. You know, I thought it was for protection from him or his family, like trying to come in. And then right after the doctor was like, okay, like you can go home now, like just rest, you know, whatever the discharge they give you from the hospital. And then the police was like, oh no, she's not going anywhere. And I was like, what? I was like, what do you mean? I'm going home. Like, I want to go home. And the cop I remember so well. He was like, you're getting arrested for domestic violence. I was like, what? I was just confused. And he's like, whatever you say or do, you know, but, you know, so lo que ellos dicen. And I was like, what does domestic violence mean? So I was telling the cop, I was like, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. And he's like, just know that you're getting arrested. You're going to Boulder County Jail. Your parents already know this and that. I was confused, guys. Okay. I was so confused. So they put me in a jail cell. I was there. So todo esto pasó a las 2 de la mañana. A las 8 de la mañana, I was able to call my mom and see what was going on. Okay, guys, this is where it gets a little spicy. A little like, okay, you know what? Like this ain't no se va a quedar así. Okay. So, sorry guys, I need a stretch. Okay. Anyways, so at 8 in the morning, I called my mom. I was like, hey mom, I was like, why am I in here? I was like, what does domestic violence mean? I was like, I don't even know why I'm here. Y ya me explicó que he said, okay guys, that I hit him and he fell on top of the pillow and he was bleeding out of his mouth. Remind you, this dude was bigger than me. And I was this little like, yes, I was fat, pero un hombre siempre va a ser más fuerte que la mujer. Unless, you know, you're stronger, but I'm not. I wasn't. I was a weak little girl that didn't know anything about love. Okay. So I kind of like started going and ramping off on my mom. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, vamos a tener que agarrar un abogado. Vamos a tener que pelear. Vamos a tener que hacer esto y el otro. So yes, I spent a night in jail. It was the first time ever in my life that I spent a night in jail. I was always a good girl. Always. Yo nunca le daba problemas a mi mamá de la escuela. I would ditch, yes, but I graduated. All right. So I was never like problematic when I was at school or anything like that. But yeah, I was so confused. Even she was confused because she's like, you know, what the hell, you know, like what is going on? But anyways, yes, we were able, you know, fast forward, we got a lawyer. We were able to fight the case. And the whole reason why he did this, the whole reason was because he wanted los papeles. Me quería sacar los papeles. And you know what? Yo le volteé la tortilla. Everything that you do in this life always comes back. And that I'm very, very strong on karma. Very, very strong on it. That's why I did my part on fighting and showing my evidence, because every time he would leave me a mark or whatever, I would take a picture. But let you guys know, I didn't know anything about what domestic violence was. I didn't know anything about, that I was able to report it to the police. I didn't know anything of that because my parents never like put us in that position, of like a relationship should be like this. My parents always had a beautiful relationship when I grew up. So I never got to see that with them. So I was unfamiliar with what I was walking into. But once I walked out, like I was very like informed of what all that was. So yes, we fought the case and everything. And the whole reason why I was able to fight my case. Okay. Let me tell y'all. Let me tell y'all why I was able to win this case too. Because if he didn't do what he did, I would still, have the domestic violence or whatever on my record. But I don't anymore because I won. All right. All right. So I was at a gas station. I was pumping gas in my car. I was ready to go home. I was coming out of work. So he knew where I worked and everything. Okay, guys. I was coming out of work. I was pumping gas and I was already done. Like I was already going into my car, and out of nowhere, somebody opens the door from the passenger side and gets into the car. And it's him. And I looked and he looked at me. Estaba pedo because he smelled like alcohol. And I was like, Gaga, get off the car. I was like, we're not even allowed to have contact with each other. I was like, get off the car. He's like, start driving. Start driving now. I was like, no. And he slapped me. He's just like, I was like this and I was like, get off my car, Kaka. And he just, boom, just like that. He's like, start driving. He turned on the car, the engine, because I already had my key, in the engine. Ya me iba a ir yo ya estaba lista. And he was like, let's go. So I started driving because I was freaking out, guys. I was freaking out. And the whole time we were driving, I had my phone on record. I was smart because I followed what the lawyer told me. If he ever gets close to you, if he ever does this, if he ever does that, start recording. So I started recording on my phone. And he was yelling at me the whole time. He's like, eres una zorra. ¿Cómo puedes creer que tú te vas a salir con esto? Yo voy a ganar, voy a agarrar mis papeles. And he was hitting me the whole time, slapping me. I was just letting him do his thing. Because I listened to my lawyer, okay? So yeah, I was driving and then I was just like, you know what? I'm going to drop you off at your house. Like, I really don't want any more problems. I don't want any more altercations with the cops. Like, I really don't want this. And he's like, haz lo que quieras and this and that. Like, I'm telling you, he was drunk. He was so drunk. So I worked really close to where he lived, but it wasn't like the distance that how they put you like a distance, like you have to be this distance away from this person. So it wasn't so close to him, but it was like probably like a little 15-minute drive to his house. So I like went around the block and then I dropped him off. And I was like, I don't want to know anything about you. Just please leave me alone. Like, I know what you're doing this for. Like I just don't want it. Just let the courts do what they have to do. And I dropped him off and he got off the car. He slammed the door. And then so I stopped the recording off my phone and I called my mom. I was like, hey, Mom, I'm going to the police station right now. This happened and I'm going right now to go report it. And she's like, oh my God, mija, yo ya voy para allá. So she met me at the police station and we both reported it. And, they said, okay, we're going to go arrest him for like not obeying like the restraining order. And both like my bruises were so like I was so bruised up that you were able to see them. So they took pictures of my bruises. And yeah, like we had a court that week. So they didn't arrest him right away. They didn't go to his house and arrest him. I don't know why they didn't do that. I was waiting for the call for them to tell me, oh, we already have him arrested, but they didn't call me. So we had court that week and we both showed up and he showed up with his sister to the court. Okay. He showed up with his sister. I already had my lawyer. I had everything already going and the record showed like what happened. And my lawyer brought it up too, because I called my lawyer right after we went to the police station and they arrested him. They took him arrested right in front of my eyes. They took him arrested for what he did. And he looked at me. I'm telling you guys, he looked at me con cara que me iba a matar. Like, con cara que me iba a matar. But I knew in my heart, yo gané. yo gané victoria. Like, I knew in my heart, yo gané victoria. So they took him arrested. And then after that, we were coming out of the courts, and I just remember his sister was talking on the phone with somebody, telling him, no, they took Caca to jail por esta pinche vieja, nos está destruyendo la vida, nos está destruyendo nuestros planes, no vamos a agarrar los papeles. And they gave us a court for like 2 weeks after that to like finalize the decisions of the court and everything. And they dropped my charges. So I don't have anything in my charges anymore, because I was able to show proof that even after all of this altercation that happened, after that, I had proof de que me pegaba, that he would put his hands on me, he would hit me, he was verbally abusive, so I had all that proof. So they dropped all the charges, and he got deported to Mexico. I didn't want it to get to that point, okay, guys. I swear I didn't want it to get to that point. But it had to. I did hear that he was back here, but after that, like, I didn't have contact with his family. I didn't contact with anybody from that side because I didn't want it. And they knew that he did wrong. They knew that they did wrong, that they were doing wrong, because they knew what they were going towards. They wanted the papers. That's what they wanted. But guess what, honey? God is in my side, and karma's in my side. So no. So this is why I don't like anything to do with like abusive relationships. This is why I don't like anything to do with toxicness. When I met Junior, is the first thing I told him. I do not like toxic people. Yes, it's okay to be toxic at its point, but don't take it to the point where I'm like, I'm out. Because I don't like it. I just don't. I'd rather live a happy relationship. Yes, me and Junior have our ups as we have our downs. Yes, we go through things as like other marriages go through, but I would never step into that again. Why? Because I have Aliana, I have Xiomara coming. Like, I don't want them to go through that. I don't want them to see that. I don't want them to see that, I want them to see a healthy relationship, just like my parents nos culcaron en nuestras vidas. So that's what I want. I want to show my kids that, yes, it's okay to be a little toxic, like playing around, if you guys see my videos with like Junior, yes, like we play around being toxic, but it never gets to the point where it's like my daughters are like, or Aliana's like, oh, like, you know what I mean? Like, she loves seeing us like play like that. She knows that we're just playing around. So I don't like, I don't like that kind of stuff in my life. And that's why when I told Junior, and he can even tell you guys, if you guys want like a confirmation, that it's the first thing I told him. I was like, if you are toxic, you are not for me. That's the first thing I told him. If you are a toxic person, you are not for me, because I was really doing like social media and stuff. I was doing photo shoots, and I love doing photo shoots. I love modeling. After this baby comes out, we going back. We're going back to the modeling. But anyways, like, I was doing modeling. I was doing this. I was doing that. So he knows that, and I do respect myself when I'm doing my modeling sessions. It's never gotten to the point where I'm like, I respect other models out there, like, keep doing you, boo. But, I have this dysphoria. Is that how you say it? I still have like, like este de mi cuerpo. Like, I haven't, even like, though I lost all the weight, like, I still haven't accepted my body. So that's just me, that's just me. But you know what? Tops to all the models out there that have a bang ass body, because if I had that body, I would probably do the same thing. But I don't. But it's okay. It's okay, because after baby comes, what if I plan to get a BBL? Papi paga. Right? Anyways, guys, so I'm just gonna leave you guys at that. I really like this topic that, this anonymous girl sent me to talk about. And to tell you guys my story that happened. Yes, I was a pendeja, but you know what? I'm good now, okay? And I do not agree with abusive relationships. I think they're the worst, but you do learn from them, like I did. I learned from my abusive relationship. I shouldn't have done it again, but I voy otra vez de pendeja. My second one never got to that point where like we were like locked up in jail and stuff, but it did mess me up mentally. That's why I was over 300 pounds, y'all. I was over 300 pounds before I got my gastric bypass. So yes, this is why I'm very strong about no abusive, no toxicness, no nada, nada, nada. All right. All right. Let me know what you guys think about this story. If you guys liked it, if you guys liked my vibe, or like, I don't know, just let me know. Just let me know what you guys think. Like when I start talking, I'm just like that. Ando como un perico así. So yeah, so I just want to know what you guys think about it. It's my second video out of this. Probably next time I'll have my name to my little whatever I'm doing because I don't even know what I'm doing. Let me know down below what you guys think. I just really want to know. I just really want to know. Even if you just want to send me a message on Instagram, you don't even have to comment down below. But go ahead and like, subscribe, guys. We're having more videos coming. Make sure you guys follow us on TikTok. I will leave all of our social medias down below. So you guys can go ahead and follow us and keep sending me emails, guys. I loved that email that came through. Yes, it's our first email. So thank you so much to this girl that sent me this email. And I appreciate you because I was able to talk about something. I was able to. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I hope you guys like it. Remember, like, oh, wrong side. Así. Like and subscribe, guys. Bye.